Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, we've got some fascinating developments coming out of Berea, Ohio, that are sure to shake up the NFL offseason landscape and have serious implications for the Cleveland Browns' future. You know, the Browns have always been a franchise that attracts plenty of attention, especially when it comes to their draft strategies and front office decisions. But this year, what's really caught the eye is not just who they picked, but how and why they made those choices, and what it tells us about the team's direction moving forward. So, let's start with the big story: two quarterbacks selected by Cleveland in this year's draft, which, let's be honest, was a bold move that sent shockwaves through the league. Fans and analysts alike were caught off guard when the Browns took Dillon Gabriel in the third round, a pick that seemed to signal a clear plan for the future at the quarterback position. But what really sparked the buzz was the subsequent selection of SHEDEUR Sanders, which came via a bold trade-up in the fifth round. Sanders, the former Colorado star, was widely projected to go much higher. His slide down the draft board surprised many, leading to rampant speculation about whether the Browns' decision was driven by the front office or influenced by the ownership. And here's where the story gets even more intriguing. Many insiders and fans wondered if the decision to pick SHEDEUR Sanders was influenced by Cleveland's ownership, especially given the history of the Browns' ownership group being pretty involved in major decisions. But as it turns out, that's not exactly the case. Cleveland's owner, Jimmy Haslam, addressed this very topic during training camp, and his words shed a lot of light on how the decision was really made. According to Haslam, the process was very much a collective effort, and importantly, it was ultimately GM Andrew Berry who made the call to draft Sanders. It's a significant point because, in the past, Haslam has been known for being quite hands-on, especially with big moves like the Deshaun Watson trade, which, let's be honest, didn't turn out quite as planned. So, hearing him say that Berry had the final say is a noteworthy indication of how the Browns are trying to establish a more structured, perhaps even more professional, decision-making process moving forward. Haslam explained that he and the front office had discussions early Saturday morning and again later that day, but he emphasized that the choice to pick SHEDEUR was entirely Andrew Berry's decision. He said, "Just like who's gonna start or what play we're gonna call, that's Kevin Stefanski's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call." So for all the speculation and the chatter about ownership influence, the Browns' GM held the reins on this one, which could signal a shift towards a more centralized and perhaps more strategic approach to draft decisions. Now, this kind of transparency from Haslam is pretty significant. Historically, he's been very involved in key decisions, some good, some not so good. Remember, he was the driving force behind the Watson trade, which, let's face it, has been a roller coaster, to put it mildly. The fact that he's now publicly reaffirming that Berry had the final say on the Sanders pick could be a sign that the Browns are trying to create a more disciplined, data-driven approach to building their roster. This is especially important considering the high expectations around the team's quarterback room, with Deshaun Watson leading the charge, but still looking to regain form after some inconsistent performances last season. Speaking of the team's current quarterback situation, it's worth noting that Deshaun Watson's presence is still the cornerstone of Cleveland's offense. Fans are eager to see him bounce back from the tumultuous year he had in 2022. But the addition of Sanders, who's shown flashes of brilliance at Colorado, signals that the Browns are planning for the future and want to have a contingency plan in case Watson struggles to replicate his previous form or if injuries happen. Having Gabriel as a developmental quarterback already on the roster adds yet another layer of depth to Cleveland's quarterback room. And this move also ties into the broader philosophy of the Browns, front office, and coaching staff. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, has always been known for his creative offensive schemes and his ability to develop quarterbacks. By adding Sanders, a young talent with a high ceiling, the Browns are clearly signaling that they're looking to build a pipeline of potential starters and playmakers. This is smart because it gives them options, especially considering the unpredictable nature of NFL careers at the quarterback position. The Browns' strategy seems to be about investing in youth and versatility, which could pay huge dividends in the coming seasons. So, what does this mean for the Browns' immediate future? Well, it's clear that the team is building a foundation that emphasizes talent development and strategic flexibility. While Deshaun Watson remains the starter for now, the presence of Sanders and Gabriel ensures that Cleveland has multiple options should circumstances change. It also sends a message to the division rivals, especially in the AFC North, that the Browns are serious about contending and aren't afraid to make bold moves to bolster their roster. This is a team that's not just trying to compete this year, but is thinking long-term, with a clear eye on sustained success. And let's not forget about the fans. Cleveland has always been a passionate city with a deep-rooted love for its team, even during tougher years. The excitement around these draft choices, especially the selection of Sanders, has sparked a lot of buzz on social media and among the fanbase. People are excited about the potential of these young quarterbacks and how they could change the dynamics of the team. It's not just about filling a roster spot, it's about building a future that Cleveland fans can be proud of, a future where the Browns are once again contenders, fighting for a Super Bowl. Now, looking at the bigger picture, Cleveland's draft strategy this year reflects a disciplined and thoughtful approach. They're investing in talent at the quarterback position, which has historically been the most critical position in the NFL, and doing so with a clear plan. Drafting Gabriel in the third round was a smart move, giving them a reliable backup and developmental project. But the real story is the trade-up to get Sanders, which shows they're willing to be aggressive for a talent they believe in, even if it slides down the draft board. This move also aligns with the Browns' recent front office philosophy. GM Andrew Berry has been building a roster that combines youth, athleticism, and strategic picks. His decision to pick Sanders, despite the slide, indicates that he sees something special in this young quarterback, something that could be a game-changer down the line. The fact that the decision was his alone, as emphasized by Haslam, underscores the growing professionalism within the organization, moving away from the more hands-on approach of the past towards a more calculated, data-driven strategy. And fans should be optimistic about this. The Browns have a talented core, including emerging stars and veteran leaders, and this draft class adds a new dimension to that mix. It's about building a team that can compete at the highest level, with a quarterback room that offers options and depth. The AFC North is a fierce division, with teams like the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers always pushing hard. But Cleveland's moves in this draft show they're not backing down. They're playing the long game, aiming for sustained success, and perhaps even their second Super Bowl appearance in franchise history. In terms of the team's current roster and the upcoming season, there's a lot of optimism, but also some questions. Can Deshaun Watson find his rhythm again? Will Sanders develop into a starter that Cleveland can rely on? And how will the coaching staff utilize this depth at quarterback to keep the team competitive and motivated? These are the questions fans are eager to see answered, and the offseason is the perfect time for the Browns to set the stage for a strong push in 2024. Of course, it's important to remember that the NFL is a league of surprises. Injuries, unexpected performances, and coaching adjustments can change everything overnight. But what's clear is that Cleveland is taking deliberate steps to position itself as a serious contender. The ownership's involvement, especially with Haslam's recent comments, reveals a team that's trying to be more disciplined and strategic in their approach. This is a franchise that's learning from past experiences, making smarter decisions, and building for the future. And so, Browns fans, as we look ahead to the upcoming season and beyond, it's an exciting time. The draft choices, the coaching staff, the front office, all of these elements are aligning to create a team that's hungry, talented, and ready to make a statement. The AFC North is always tough, but Cleveland is showing that they're not just here to participate. They're here to compete at the highest level and aim for that elusive Super Bowl ring. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe that drafting Sanders was the right move? How do you see his role evolving this season? Do you think Deshaun Watson can return to his best form? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This team is on the rise, and we're here to keep you informed every step of the way.